Hi, I'm Joni Rodgers from Stella's Umbrella, and this is my review of Adrian White's novel, An Accident Waiting to Happen. Sorry about that's not the greatest cover image to show you. But anyway, great book. I really, really enjoyed this book. It's the first Adrian White novel that I read, and it completely made me his fan. I've read a couple other of his books since then and also enjoyed those. But this one, I think, is definitely the best one that I've read by him. It's I described this to my friend as it's like watching a man fall down a well and claw his way out. It's got this really gripping plot that is genius, the way that it's constructed. It centers around this guy, Gregory. He's living with a young woman. He's in his mid-20s and is a writer, and he's living with a girl named Caitlin, and she has a little boy from a previous relationship. And Gregory is basically the only father that this little kid has ever really known. So the whole thing blows up when Caitlin goes missing and appears to be the victim of foul play. The cops instantly home in on the obvious, most likely suspect. So now Gregory is a person of interest in this investigation, and they are like closing in on him. And what makes it so riveting, so gripping, is that while this is going on, he's trying to care for this little boy whose mother has gone missing. And I think functioning on the level of a love story, it's the love story about this guy for this little boy. Because think about that, how complex that situation is. He has no legal custody rights to this kid. He's now under suspicion for, some kind of shenanigans with this woman. And it creates a sort of ticking clock where they're closing in to take this child away from him, to take him off to jail. And he has no allies in this. He's struggling to make people believe him. He's searching for this woman who he loves. And it just becomes more and more desperate. And meanwhile, over his shoulder, you're seeing the backstory unfold, and it is so deftly woven in. It's very skillfully done that you see this guy's complicated romantic history, which really is not winning. I mean, you're kind of you're having doubts about him yourself as you read some of this stuff, because you're not really liking him that much in the past. But then that makes his evolution in the present, the character arc of this book itself, so much more true and credible. It's gripping. It's heart-wrenching. And by the end of it, you're exhausted. You got to towel off after when this thing is finally over. But it's not the typical thriller at all, but it is thrilling because it's so very emotionally gripping. So I think you will not like this book if it kind of comes down to, do you want to hang out with this guy, this 20-something guy who's kind of unlovable at times? And for me, the author pulled that off. I went with him on the trip. But I think not everybody is going to feel that way. I think you will love this book if you love strong literary fiction that has a good suspense through line with a great emotional gut core. I'm thinking the book Case Histories comes to mind, or the book The Ninth Step by Barbara Taylor Cecil, something like that, where it's literary but definitely a thrill ride. Book clubs, I think it functions better as an individual read because there's not a whole lot to discuss. And then, awesome book! Loved it! Crack open the Chardonnay! Beyond that I don't know that the discussions would be all that meaty. So highly recommending as an individual read, An Accident Waiting to Happen by Adrian White. I hope you'll check it out.